This is a special edition of the Catholic News Roundup and Vortex, the clerical abuse scandal.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. You know, a curious thing happened on the way to the media's coverage of this whole sex abuse scandal involving Catholic priests. The media go to great pains to cover up that most of the abuse is homosexual in nature. First of all, they repeat the word pedophile ad nauseum. That's incorrect. Pedophilia is an attraction to prepubescent children, generally regarded as children under 10 years old. The lion's share of child victims have been post-pubescent teenagers, in other words, adolescents. And they have been male by a 4-to-1 margin. But for some strange reason, the media is always sidestepping this issue, using incorrect words and deceptive vocabulary to confuse their audience. If you accepted the media's portrayal of the issue, it would seem like virtually every priest in history rapes small children. In truth, a small minority of priests rapes adolescent males. Why would the media, which has covered every single salacious detail of this story, leave out such an important detail? That's a good question. Because they want to have their cake and eat it too. They simply cannot resist the urge to slam the Catholic Church, even at the risk of damaging their pro-gay agenda. So they report every single thing they can about how horrible Catholic priests are, painting a broad brush, by the way, and simply skip over the one pertinent fact that it is homosexual priests doing this. They damn the priesthood in general while carefully skirting around the homosexual aspect of it. They don't talk about teenage boys. They use more general terms like youth, teenagers, victims, underage, the abused, minors. But rarely will you hear the accurate and precise term adolescent males and homosexual rapists. Imagine for a moment a news story that told you about hundreds dying in a building fire. You'd be shocked, horrified. But if they failed to tell you that the building was a barn and the dead were hundreds of chickens, not humans, you'd say, well, why didn't you tell me everything? The media reveals its true self as much by what it doesn't say as much as by what it does say. A couple of months ago, a very high-ranking Vatican official said the sex abuse crisis in the church was ephebophilia, not pedophilia. Ephebophilia is an attraction to post-pubescent children. This means adolescent males were the victims and homosexuals in the priesthood were the abusers. But you had to dig long and hard to find that story in the secular press. And now, just this past week, the Vatican's second highest authority said the same thing. The sex scandals haunting the Roman Catholic Church are linked to homosexuality and not celibacy among priests. That makes two, count them, two very high-ranking Vatican officials who link the cause of this scandal to homosexuals in the ranks of the priesthood. But the only time the mainstream media utters a word about this, and very reluctantly at that, is to interview some liberal psychologist who spews forth a bunch of psychobabble to refute the charge. It shouldn't come as a surprise that the New York Times and CNN and MSNBC are all tripping over each other to defend homosexuality. They each have avowed homosexuals sitting in primetime on-air seats or editorial boards. One of the largest professional associations in the media is the National Lesbian and Gay Journalists Association, which has many members in major newsrooms and major news operations all over the country. Their mission? To make sure the gay agenda is advanced as much as possible in news reports. When it comes to honesty and objectivity, don't be looking to the old media anytime soon. As the Vatican has rightly identified, the sex abuse scandal is one resulting from homosexual clergy who refuse to live by their vows. These same clerics have been allowed into the priesthood by superiors who support their presence, and the problem has mushroomed to these scandalous proportions because various members of the hierarchy have had as their chief goal protecting their own interests. That's it. The bigger problem now is that a gay-friendly media is using these grievous sins against the church without being honest about their full nature. As the saying goes, sleep with dogs and you're gonna get fleas. A worldwide disinfection appears to be in order. I'm Michael Voris.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.